Welcome to Global India, a cultural fusion podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Lilly Padman. Our co-host, Shakira Tarachand, and I will address today's topic, why truth matters, and try to put in perspective how distortion of truth is affecting our lives and how we should safeguard ourselves and our democracy against the constant stream of copious lies spewing out of seemingly reliable sources. I'm allergic to lies, something I inherited from my father, who instilled in me and my siblings the value of honesty. I distinctly remember his words, "If you utter one lie, you will have to cover it up with 1,000 lies." Just from a practical perspective, it's much harder to navigate one's life through a labyrinth of lies, and yet you see a proliferation of lies from the most powerful people who seem to indulge in mendacious behavior with impunity. Let me give you a concrete example of what I mean by this. Instead of acknowledging the truth about the coronavirus pandemic and taking appropriate measures to curb the pandemic, it was downplayed by the topmost level of the U.S. government while spreading a bunch of flat-out lies to cover up the lack of action. This has clearly resulted in needless loss of lives and livelihoods. The United States, which is supposedly the most advanced country in the world, has had more than 180,000 confirmed COVID deaths out of 331 million people, or roughly 22% of the global number of COVID deaths out of a population which is only 4.2% of the global population. Let us analyze the lies and mismanagement that have contributed to this death toll. Shakira, why don't you start with your laundry list of lies that have been propagated by top levels of the U.S. government?
Yes, I agree, Lily. For starters, let's look at the patently false statement, anybody that needs a test gets a test. The truth is that testing is still inadequate today, with the consequence that scarce resources like hospital beds, ventilators, and personal protective equipment cannot be mobilized in advance of major outbreaks. A lack of testing and pretending it is not a problem puts everyone, including health workers, at risk unnecessarily.
Here is a second lie. This is their new hoax. The top level of the U.S. government proclaimed, pointing the finger at the opposition party. On the same day, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, urged the country to take aggressive measures to prevent widespread transmission of the virus, which was of course ignored by too many people following the advice of their leader.
Here is the third lie or misleading statement comparing COVID-19 to the common flu. So last year, 37,000 Americans died from the common flu. The flu deaths averaged between 27 and 70,000 per year. Nothing is shut down, life and economy go on. The truth is that COVID-19 is much more lethal than a common seasonal flu, and the death toll from COVID-19 has already exceeded 180,000. The false equivalence between COVID-19 and the common flu was used to justify reopening the economy too soon without appropriate safeguards.
Perhaps one of the biggest distortions of truth with a profound public health impact is the false messaging about mask wearing that came from the top level of the U.S. government. There is well-documented evidence that even homemade cloth masks help reduce the spread of particles expelled through the nose and mouth and decrease the risk of infecting others. In early April, the CDC issued new guidance recommending the use of cloth masks in public places. But many Americans, following the leadership at the top level of the U.S. government, have refused to wear masks, arguing that masks are unnecessary and that they constitute a violation of their civil liberties.
It is crystal clear from the examples we have discussed so far that the distortion of truth has had far-reaching consequences in terms of exacerbating the coronavirus crisis. Now let us move on to other types of egregious lies that have had major impact on society.
As we all know, climate change is real and it poses an existential threat unless we do something about it now. According to the National Climate Assessment Report, without substantial and sustained global mitigation and regional adaptation efforts, climate change is expected to cause growing losses to American infrastructure and property and impede the rate of economic growth over this century. The report notes that the effects of climate change are already being felt in communities across the country, including more frequent and intense extreme weather and climate-related events. Yet, the top level of the U.S. government has referred to climate change as a Chinese hoax with complete disregard to scientific evidence and the truth about climate change. The harsh reality is that if the world, including the U.S., which contributes 25% of total carbon emission on this planet, fails to reduce these emissions, global temperatures will continue to rise, causing ice caps to melt and sea levels to rise, thus threatening the lives of all living beings on planet Earth. Yet, the top level of the U.S. government had the temerity to pull out of the Paris Climate Agreement, sending a misleading and dangerous signal to the world.
The lies are not limited to the U.S. response to the pandemic and climatic change. The latest falsehoods coming out of the top level of the U.S. government are about fraud in postal balloting, solely designated to undermine the process of free and fair elections and indeed democracy itself.
Perhaps one of the most blatant lies we have heard in the political world is the false claim that the former U.S. President Barack Obama was not born in the United States. Another preposterous lie is that Obama was the founder of ISIS. The unfortunate consequence of such lies is that once misinformation is coded in a person's mind, it is very difficult to change that perception. The widespread use of the internet and social media has increased the speed with which misinformation diffuses throughout society. To make matters worse, in an assertion of power, the top level of the U.S. government expects us to accept their version of reality and dismiss facts as fake news. The refusal to admit the truth of widely accepted facts corrodes political discourse and is consistent with the practice of many authoritarian leaders. The assertion of power to define reality by ignoring inconvenient facts is destructive of democratic governance. It is incumbent upon us to stick to the absolute truth and to protect our hard-earned freedom and democracy from the clutches of autocrats who are constantly trying to hoodwink us by distorting the truth.
Well said, Lilly. I might add another example of lying and hypocritical behavior that comes to mind, that is privately denigrating veterans, including the late Senator John McCain, by calling them losers and suckers, while publicly professing there is nobody that respects them more. Let us hope truth will prevail and democracy will not be destroyed by the constant barrage of lies directed at us.
Indeed, that is our only hope. Thank you, Shakira, for joining me in this important conversation about why truth matters. A big thank you to our listeners as well. Hope you will join us in this crusade for preserving truth and democracy. We conclude this episode with some music and an excerpt from a hilarious Saturday Night Live version of the recent vice presidential debate. It is about politics, flies, and lies.
And that is how President Trump will make the economy better, by making it worse.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Vice President Pence. There's a,
War on police in this country? I couldn't agree more.
No, there's a giant...
Lack of respect for militias? You're darn right.
No, Senator Harris, help me out.
Oh, no, I'm good. Looking real good, Mike. Keep it up. Let me at him. Let me at him.
Mr. Vice President, do you not feel that at all?
I'll tell you what I feel, Susan. I feel for the businesses that are going to be crippled by Joe Biden's tax cuts.
Yes, your economy is so in the toilet. I want to lay my eggs on it. What?
Oh no, there must have been a fly in the teleportation machine. That's why Joe turned into a fly.
Yeah, but that doesn't explain why he sounds like Jeff Goldblum.
God created dinosaurs. Dinosaurs became Republican. Republicans created Trump. Trump destroys God.
Oh no, now he's gone full Goldblum.
He even has the glasses.
Apartments.com. The most popular place to find a place. No, yes, because life finds a way.
Mr. Vice President.
Yes?
Mr. Vice President, there's another one.
Another Antifa rally? No surprise there.
Oh, honey, at this point, I'm just enjoying the show.
Man, what kind of nonsense is Mike Pence trying to pull?
Do tell. Wait, I'm sorry. Friend, you look familiar.
Well, I better. I'm Herman Cain. Reincarnated as a damn fly. And these fools, Trump and Pence, killed me, man. They invited me to a rally with no mask. Said everything is fine, Herman. I catch corona. Trump tell me everything is fine, Herman. The White House doctors, they check me out and they say, everything fine, Herman. 3 days later, I'm gone. If you watching this at home, don't trust this white devil about that Rona.
Yes, Vice President Pence, I think one of your flies is screaming at you.
What is gonna give you the Rona?
Okay, I think we need to shut this debate down for the good of humanity. Senator Harris, would you like to do what everyone at home wants to do?
Oh, I would.
I was just born. I've been crawling till I learned to walk. When I met you, I was so young, I didn't know that it could fall apart. Tell me, what do I do? Now I see what we've done, and I know that it's true. You gave me nothing but love. Tell me how long till we see the pieces that'll break. Tell me how long will it take till we wake up, till we wake up. Tell me how long till we wake up. I've been trying to tell you what's inside my soul. I've been dying, but the ocean changes slow, and it's hard to see it, but I know that it's true, that I gotta be better, so much better to you. Tell me how long Can you hear me through the waves? If we keep on waiting, do we lose the things that we can save? If we hold each other, we don't have to let it slip away. We don't have to let this slip away. Tell me how long, till we see the pieces that'll break. Tell me how long, tell me how long, tell me how long will it take till we wake up, till we wake up. Tell me how long, till we wake up. I know we're gonna wake up, I know we're gonna wake up.
This is a free podcast. However, if you enjoy the podcast to the point where it puts you in a generous mood, you can unleash your generosity by donating to the Lions Club of Bangalore Whitefield. Please check out their website. Please write checks payable to Whitefield Lions Club Services Trust out of your Indian bank accounts and send them to Global India 7612 Fenwick Cove Lane, Orlando, Florida 32819. For more details, please visit our website www.globalindiapodcast.com. Please email your feedback and ideas for future episodes to globalindiapodcast@gmail.com. We would love to showcase your talents and accomplishments as well. All you have to do is to email us a note along with your biodata and a recording of your music. Alvida, adios, au revoir, and goodbye for now.